Hello friends, today we are diving into the magic of GitHub Copilot and explore how it can help assist us in generating basic yet powerful code snippets effortlessly. We will start by asking Copilot to generate code for printing the first n prime numbers. Then we will level up the challenge by creating a script to print all prime numbers less than a given number and count the printed numbers. So let's go ahead. I am here using VS Code and I will ask this question to the GitHub Copilot as give me codes to print first and prime numbers. So here you can see in GitHub Copilot chat, it's printing out the thing. Like sure, here's a step-by-step plan and correspondence code to print the first and prime numbers. The plan will be define a function isPrime to check the number is prime. Then second plan is to define a function print first and prime numbers to print the first and prime numbers. Then use a loop to find and print the first and prime numbers. So this is the code that has been generated. We can copy this code using this button and we can print that code here. So as per the plan, you can see the first function that has been created is to check whether the number is prime or not. So this particular function will decide whether the given number is prime or not. So as per the plan, you can see the first function that has been created is to check whether the number is prime or not. So if the number is less than 1, then we will return false. And if a given number is divisible by any of the numbers that are coming from the range 2 to the number itself, then again we will return it as a false. Otherwise, we will return as a true. As per the plan, the second function was to print n prime numbers. So here we have written the count as 0 and the starting number will be the 2 and we are printing the prime numbers with the while loop. So in the while loop, we are actually checking if the count is less than n or not. And then we are calling this above function, which is prime. This function will return true, then only we will print out the number, and we will increase the count. Otherwise, we will increase the number by number plus 1. So now let us print the first n prime numbers. So before doing that, we will just run this code first, and we will print the first 10 prime numbers. If I want to print first 100 prime numbers, then we just have to increase the number of n to 100, and then again run the code. It will print out all the 100 prime numbers. Now let us increase the challenge and let us print the prime numbers less than a given number and also count how many numbers are printed. So I will type my query as give me codes to print prime numbers less than a given number and count how many numbers are printed. So here you can see the code is getting generated, but at first let us check the plan. So in the plan you can see we will again create a function called is prime or not. Then we will have a second function as print prime less than. So this function will print all prime numbers less than a given number and count how many numbers are printed. Then the third thing we will do is we will use a loop to find and print all prime numbers less than a given number. So this third option will be available in the second function itself. And then we will keep a counter to count the number of prime numbers printed. Now let us copy this code using this copy button. Let us print that, paste that code here. Now, the change, whatever it has made, here you can see, is earlier we had used a while loop to print all the prime numbers like until our count is less than a given n number. But in this case, we are going to navigate from 2 to the given number, right? So now here the first is prime function is same, but the second function is updated a little bit. Instead of while loop, we are using a for loop, and the number will go on from 2 to the given number. Now, and we will check whether the given number is prime or not. If it is a prime, then we will print the number and we will increase the count by 1. And if it is not, then we are not going to do anything, right? And at the end of this particular loop, so in this first loop, we will print out all the prime numbers that are less than a given number. And at the end, we will print the number of prime numbers less than a given prime number. And here we will be actually printing the count. Okay. So let me run this code. Now I will run this particular code. So we will print all the numbers that are less than 50, and those are prime numbers. So let us run this. So here you can see it has printed all the numbers that are less than 50, and total prime numbers less than 50 are 15. If we increase this number to 100, then also we can see that there are around 25 prime numbers that are less than 100, and it has printed all the numbers like this. In the next session, we can try out few more further complex queries, and we can play with the GitHub Copilot. Thank you.